Now the result from the Taylor's expansion, we say it corollary number 1. How can it be? We see here, putting x equal to a and y equal to b in our equation number 3. Here if we put x equal to a and y equal to b, we get f of a plus h, y plus b, b plus k equal to f of xy becomes f of ab plus h del by del x plus k del by del y at f of ab plus 1 upon 2 factorial h square del square by del x square plus 2hk del square by del x del y plus k square del square by del y square at f of ab plus up to so on. We say that corollary 1, equation number 4. Now from that corollary 1, we can conclude that corollary 2, we see here, putting a plus h equal to x and b plus k equal to y. Here in corollary 1, a plus h equal to x and b plus k equal to y, it becomes f of xy equal to f of ab. Since a plus h equal to x, so h becomes x minus a. So f of ab plus x minus a into del by del x plus y minus b into del by del y at f of ab. Our f of xy becomes f of ab plus the other term 1 upon 2 factorial into, now in the bracket, x minus a whole square del square by del x square plus 2 x minus a into y minus b into del square by del x del y plus y minus b whole square del square by del y square at f of ab plus up to so on. Here we say the corollary 2, equation 5. Now from that corollary 2, we have the corollary 3, the result number 3. How can we conclude? We see here, putting a equal to 0 and b equal to 0 in 5, that means corollary 2, we have f of xy equal to f of ab becomes f of 0 0 plus x minus 0 becomes x into del by del x plus y del by del y at f of 0 0 plus the other term 1 upon 2 factorial into x square del square by del x square plus 2 into x into y del square by del x del y plus y square into del square by del y square at f of 0 0. We say it equation number 6. Now for f of 0 0, the equation of Taylor's expansion becomes Maclaurin's expansion. So our equation number 6 is called Maclaurin's expansion for two variables. Now at origin or at 0 0, the Taylor's expansion becomes Maclaurin's expansion. We will see the examples for Taylor's expansion and Maclaurin's expansion also. First we solve that example number 1. Expand the tan inverse y by x in powers of x minus 1 and y minus 1 using Taylor's expansion. Here our function is function of two variable x and y. So f of xy equal to tan inverse y by x. Now since x minus a is equal to x minus 1 here and y minus b is equal to y minus 1 here, so our a and b becomes 1 1. Our a is 1 and our b is also 1. So we have the point 1 1. So our function f of 1 1 becomes tan inverse 1, but we know that tan inverse 1 equal to pi by 4. So f of 1 1 equal to pi by 4. Now if we differentiate our function f with respect to x partially at xy, we have the value 1 upon 1 plus y square by x square, and differentiation of y by x becomes minus y by x square. So now by solving it, we get is equal to minus y by x square plus y square. So now our fx at the point xy becomes minus y by x square plus y square. Now our point is 1 1. So our function fx, partial differentiation of f with respect to x at 1 1 becomes minus 1 by 2 by substituting the value of x equal to 1 and y equal to 1 at fx at xy. So we get fx at 1 1 equal to minus 1 by 2. Similarly, fy at xy equal to 1 upon 1 plus y square by x square, and differentiation of y by x with respect to y becomes 1 by x. So by solving it, we get x upon x square plus y square, and so at the point 1 1 our fy is fy 1 1 equal to 1 by 2. Similarly, now by differentiating f partially 2 times by x, we get fxx at xy equal to 2xy upon x square plus y square whole square. So fxx equal at 1 1 becomes 1 by 2 by substituting the value of 1 1 in fxx at xy. Now similarly, our fxy is partial differentiation of f with respect to x and then with respect to y at xy is y square minus x square upon x square plus y square whole square. So at the point 1 1 fxy at 1 1 becomes 0. Similarly, fyy at xy equal to minus 2xy upon x square plus y square whole square. So fyy at 1 1 is equal to minus 2. Now here we use corollary 2 because we have not the point 0 0, that means origin, but we have the point 1 1. So by corollary 2, since f of xy equal to tan inverse y by x, f of xy equal to f of 1 1 plus x minus 1 del by del x plus y minus 1 del by del y at f of 1 1 plus 1 upon 2 factorial x minus 1 whole square del square by del x square plus 2 into x minus 1 y minus 1 into del square by del x del y plus y minus 1 whole square del square by del y square at f of 1 1. By substituting all the values, we have the equation f of xy equal to pi by 4 plus x minus 1 into minus 1 by 2 plus y minus 1 into 1 by 2 plus 1 upon 2 factorial x minus 1 whole square into 1 by 2 plus 2 into x minus 1 y minus 1 into 0 plus y minus 1 whole square into minus 1 by 2 plus up to so on. So our function becomes tan inverse y by x equal to pi by 4 plus 1 by 2 into x minus 1 plus 1 by 2 into y minus 1 plus 1 by 4 into x minus 1 whole square plus 1 by 4 into y minus 1 whole square plus up to so on. This is our Taylor's expansion for the function f of xy equal to tan inverse y by x. Similar example, Taylor's expansion for f of xy equal to sin x into cos y at the origin to find the cubic approximation of f near the origin. Now our Taylor's expansion is given by f of xy equal to f of 0 0 plus x del by del x plus y del by del y f of 0 0 plus 1 upon 2 factorial into x square del square by del x square plus 2xy del square by del x del y plus y square del square by del y square f of 0 0 plus up to so on. We say it equation number 1. For that we have now since we have f of xy equal to sin x into cos y. Here we want f of 0 0, fx at 0 0, fy at 0 0, fxx, fxy, fyy, fxxx, fxxy, fxyy, fyy at the point 0 0. So we first find it. So since f of xy equal to sin x into cos y, our f of 0 0 becomes 0 by putting the value of x and y in the f of xy. Now f of xy equal to sin x cos y, so our fx at xy becomes the partial differentiation of f with respect to x at the point xy is cos x into cos y. So fx at 0 0 become 1. Now partial differentiation of f with respect to y at xy is minus sin x into cos y. So fy at the point 0 0 is 0. Now fxx is the 2 times partial differentiation of f with respect to x at the point xy is minus sin x into cos y. So our fxx at the point 0 0 is 0 because sin 0 0 into cos 0 1. So 0 into 1 0. Similarly, fxy at xy becomes minus cos x into sin y. So fxy at 0 0 is equal to 0. And fyy at xy equal to minus sin x into cos y. Fyy at 0 0 is equal to 0. Now fxxx at xy is the differentiation partially of f with respect to xxx. So we get fxxx at xy equal to minus cos x into cos y. So at the point 0 0 our fxxx is equal to minus 1 and fxxy at xy is sin x into sin x into sin y. So fxxy at 0 0 becomes 0 and fxyy at xy is minus cos x cos y. So fxyy at the point 0 0 is minus 1. Now fyy at xy is sin x into sin y. So fyy at 0 0 is equal to 0. If we want to find fxxx, fxxy, fxyy and fyy, and if we have already fxx, fxy, fyy, then we use here and by differentiation partially with respect to x of fxx we get fxxx. Similarly, by differentiating partially of f with respect to y, if f of xy is given, then we get f of xyy. Now our Taylor's expansion is fxy. If we had given in equation 1, by substituting all that values in equation 1, we have sin x into cos y equal to 0 plus x into 1 plus y into 0 plus 1 by 2 factorial x square into 0 plus 2 into x into y into 0 plus y square into 0 plus 1 by 3 factorial x cube into minus 1 plus 3x square y 0 plus 3xy square into minus 1 plus y cube into 0 plus up to so on. So is equal to x minus 1 by 3 factorial x cube plus 3xy square. Then the function f of xy equal to sin x cos y is approximate as x minus 1 by 3 factorial x cube plus 3xy square. Now the other most important application is maxima and minima of the functions. Now we see here maxima and minima of functions of two variables We can say it extreme values also. For that, the function f of xy is maximum at xy if for all small positive or negative values of h and k we have f of x plus h, y plus k minus f of xy less than 0. Equation number 1. Similarly, f of xy for minimum f of x plus h, y plus k minus f of xy greater than 0. We say it equation number 2. We have the working rules to find maximum and minimum values of a function of f of xy. First say p, q, r as t. P equal to del f by del x, q equal to del f by del y, r equal to del square f by del x square, s equal to del square f by del x del y, t equal to del square f by del y square. First of all, find p and q. Then necessary condition for maximum and minimum value is p equal to 0 and q equal to 0. Now solve simultaneous equations p equal to 0 and q equal to 0. We find some roots of that equation. Now then find r as t at those points p, q. Now a sufficient condition for maximum and minimum value is rt minus s square greater than 0. Then our function is either maximum or minimum. If our r and t both are greater than 0, then the function becomes minimum. And if r and t both less than 0, then our function becomes maximum. If rt minus s square less than 0, then there are no maximum, no minimum at these points. That points are called saddle points. If rt minus s square equal to 0, nothing can be said about the maximum or minimum. Similarly for r equal to 0. Now f of ab is said to be a stationary value of f of xy if p at ab and q at ab equal to 0. The points at which both p and q are 0 are called critical points. Now here we see one example of it. Find the extreme value, means either maximum or minimum. Extreme values of x cube plus 3xy square minus 15x square minus 15y square plus 72x. Let we solve it. Let f of x